So for the Patricks out there who have been living under a rock, a new structure deck has just been leaked for Duel Links, and oh boy have I been seeing some mixed emotions on this one. So this video is simply just going to be my take on whether or not the new structure deck is going to be worth your valuable gem investment. Now just a couple of things to note real quick before I get into the cards. First of all, and most importantly, as I imagine I'll cover quite a few times in this video, this structure deck is extremely likely to come with box support later this month. So if after you see all these cards you just think, damn, this shit's gonna be hard trash, remember it is highly likely to receive extra support on its release via a box. And secondly, if you do enjoy this kind of content or find it useful and would like to see more stuff from me, please hit the like button down below and consider subscribing to the channel whilst you're down there. It's completely free and you can unsub at any time. Alright, let's get into it. So been confirmed to be 4 new cards and 1 skill coming with the structure. The first one being the deck's brand new fusion boss monster, GAIA the Magical Knight of Dragons. This monster requires 1 GAIA the Fierce Knight monster plus 1 level 5 dragon monster to summon. This card's name becomes GAIA the Dragon Champion while on the field. You can use each of the following effects of GAIA the Magical Knight of Dragons once per turn. During the main phase, quick effect, you can target one other card on the field. This card loses exactly 2600 attack, and if it does, you can destroy that card. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can make this card gain 2600 attack. So a couple of important things to note with this card. It is a main phase quick effect pop, meaning this effect is usable during your opponent's turn to pop anything they choose to summon. Second thing to note is of course this card will lose 2600 attack to do so, and it only has 2600 attack, making things kind of awkward unless of course you've already gained some extra stats using its battle destruction effect. Because the attack reduction effect is permanent, so this card will just become a dead card on board with 0 attack. Now there are a couple of cards that can be used to simply return its attack to normal, such as Origin, who Engrave can be banished to return its attack stats to normal during the battle phase, or the good old World Legacy Clash trick of banishing a monster from the board so that it will return to the board with its full stats. So how are we summoning this new fusion monster? Well, for that we're going to be needing the second new card, GAIA the Magical Knight. If you control no monsters or your opponent controls a monster with 2300 or more attack, you can normal summon this card without tributing. If this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon 1 level 5 dragon monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position. So essentially this card is going to be your starter. You're going to be using it every single game to summon your boss, and to do so you're going to be using Curse of Dragonfire, which can be special summoned using this card. This card, on top of being able to blow up field spells, suck on that Harpy players, is able to fusion summon 1 fusion monster from the extra deck, using monsters you control as fusion material, including itself. So when this card is summoned using Magical Knight, you'll have the materials for your fusion summon. Now another important thing to note here is of course that this card can special summon Curse from hand or graveyard, meaning if your fusion monster is removed, if you get a hold of another GAIA, you're good to go, as you can simply resummon the Curse from the grave and go into your fusion once again. So it's a great starter and also a pretty neat follow-up. Now for what is going to make this combo extremely consistent. Galloping GAIA and the new skill, the Dragon Knight's Path. This skill allows you to return 1 card from your hand to your deck to place 1 Galloping GAIA face up on your field from your deck, but after using the skill you can only special summon the following monsters until the end of your next turn, and this skill will only activate if you begin the duel with a deck that has at least 8 cards that are GAIA the Fierce Knight monsters or level 5 dragon type monsters. Fusion monsters that use GAIA the Fierce Knight monsters as material. GAIA the Fierce Knight monsters, Blackluster Soldier monsters, and level 5 dragon type monsters. So if you want to use this skill, you're basically required to play BLS or GAIA, no random combos like we saw happening with Shooting Star. But to be fair, this skill basically means you just play Galloping GAIA at 1 copy, but if you run it at 3, it might just be enough of consistency boost to be playable without the skill anyway. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects during the battle phase, while GAIA the Dragon Champion is in your monster zone. You can activate one of the following effects. You can reveal 1 GAIA the Fierce Knight monster in your hand, add 1 level 5 dragon monster from your deck to your hand. You can reveal 1 level 5 dragon monster in your hand, add 1 GAIA the Fierce Knight monster from deck to hand. You can only use this effect of Galloping GAIA once per turn. So obviously this card will fix your hand instantly, depending on what you open, and basically guarantees your fusion monster every duel. Also important to note is obviously you can search for any GAIA or any level 5 dragon monster, not just specifically the 2 needed for your starting combo. Basically, with this new skill, plus the card, you'll have an 80% chance or more, depending on if you're running gateways, to open your starting combo. So even if this deck turns out to be pretty garbage, at least it'll be consistently garbage. And now for the final card leaked. Soldier GAIA the Fierce Knight. Keep in mind this is searchable via Galloping. Quick effect. You contribute 1 dragon fusion monster to special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can target 1 attack position monster on the field and change it to defense position. You contribute this card to add 1 level 7 or higher warrior monster from your deck to your hand, except Soldier GAIA the Fierce Knight. You can only use each effect of Soldier GAIA the Fierce Knight once per turn. You guys remember how the fusion monster can sometimes just become a completely useless 0 attack clog? Well, here is another solution. So this guy is a quick effect, meaning he's essentially a hand trap that can be used during your opponent's turn to remove the clog, protect yourself from your opponent's monsters just like a Sphere Karibo, and acts as a follow-up during your next turn to tribute itself to search for the Magical Knight, and you can start your combo all over again. Honestly, a pretty insane card. It can even be used during your turn to simply tribute your fusion monster to dodge back row or enable an OTK after your monster has already attacked. I'm almost certain this card will be played at a bare minimum of 1 copy due to it being searchable, but whether or not people play more is kinda up in the air, as although it's a pretty neat little dodge effect, it doesn't really disrupt your opponent all that much, so opening multiple copies would be kinda weak, and at some point you do need to make room for tech cards and back row removal, which I suspect will take priority over this card. Alright, so that's all the new stuff I've been shown, and if I was to give you guys one word to summarise my thoughts on the deck so far, only factoring in the cards that have been leaked, I would use the word potential. This deck at the moment is most definitely lacking. It's ridiculously consistent, but consistency can only take you so far, and this deck's boss monster isn't exactly much of a boss monster as it stands, at least competitively. This deck is obviously going to be King of Games worthy, but in saying that, that really doesn't mean a whole lot. If we're talking strictly top tier potential, I highly doubt this deck with the current support shown is going to make it very far. But I would like to remind you, like I said at the start of this video, that this structure deck is extremely likely to come out at the same time as a new box. And in that box, I would say there's like a 70% chance to be the support for this deck. And depending on what that support is, this deck could go from like a 5 out of 10 to an easy 11 out of 10. For example, if Konami went mad and decided to give us Spiral Fusion, which would allow us to summon our boss monster with double its stats, and allow it to attack twice, this deck might just become a massive meta contender. And there are plenty of other cards that would help too, like Curse of Dragon, the Cursed Dragon, or Spiral Reborn. And I'll be extremely surprised if we don't get at least one of these cards, making the chances that this deck might be a top tier contender a lot higher. So now to answer the question, is this worth your gems? Well, honestly, probably not. Not unless you enjoy just messing around with the GAIA stuff or just want to have a bit of fun. It's easily cog worthy as it stands, but probably nothing more than that. Unless, of course, we get some extra support via the box. Then I say hell yeah, spend away, as this deck, even if it doesn't break the very top tiers, will easily be high enough in power level to at least compete with them, which is all I personally ask when looking for new archetypes. So yes, new box, give us support, hell yeah, spend your gems. No new box, no new support, probably don't. Alright guys, that's it for this little discussion video. Let me know your thoughts down below and let me know if I've missed anything important. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, remember to please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel down below. Thank you guys for watching, laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.